afternoon. Hey guys, welcome to today's Q&A. Thanks for joining me. As always, we go live here on our YouTube channel on Tuesdays at noon Central. So thanks again for joining me. If you have any questions for me, please put them in the chat and I'll be answering them as they come in. Otherwise, I'll tell you a little bit about the company, what to expect if you decide to hire on, what the qualifications are, some of the different driving positions that we have, and so much more. Well, we'll go from there. Again, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat and I will. So if I keep looking this direction, it's because I'm looking at the chat or reading it and hopefully answering those questions. If you're wondering about a specific position and you want some details, give me your zip code and give me your years of experience, and that way I can be even more specific for you. Well, shall we get started? All right, good. Do want to do a reminder that last week, right? Was it last? Anyways, we just recently finished the inspection blitz for the safety inspection blitz for July of 2023. And during that, we, of course, the law enforcement is out in full force. They're making sure that we're doing all of our pre-trips and post-trips and all that good stuff, coming in to the scales, just overall following the rules, right? Safety, speeding, erratic or defensive driving, all things that they're kind of looking at to make sure that we've got good habits in driving versus bad. So during that, obviously, we take a look at our CSAs updates on a pretty regular basis, usually around once a month or so. And just finishing that kind of gives us an update or an updated look on our CSAs. So as an update, I want to give a huge congratulations to all of Decker Truckline and in their safety records that we have, obviously. However, hours of service, I gotta tell you, we can still improve on that. When it comes to hours of service, what we see usually is that we're failing to manually enter in the shipping document information. That matters because if we don't enter that in, it doesn't show that our hours of service are valid. Also, one of the top 3 issues that we have with our hours of service is we're forgetting to verify our logs. It is that simple. Those little minor details can make it or break it for your hours of service. So please take a moment, and that's really all it's going to be. Take a moment, make sure that you are verifying your logs every day after every completion, before a load, after a load. Just make sure that you're verifying it once a day at least. And by doing that, you're going to make sure that your hours of service are certified and accurate. All right, so please, hours of service, make sure that you're manually entering in your shipping information and that you're certifying your logs. Those are really important. Also, another simple thing for the hours of service, you have to have an 8-page blank log available. So if you don't, then you are not abiding by all of the hours of service laws. All 3 of those are pretty simple fixes, but they take a moment. It's just part of a checklist that you have to complete each and every day. If you're not doing it, it will result in or could result in CSA points given to you. So let's clean up those CSA points for yourself, and of course for the company. And yes, they are within the basic category, and they are pretty simple, but when you forget to do it, kind of bites you. So that's it. Obviously, when it comes to the maintenance part, we need to be responsible for the maintenance as well. You should be doing that pre-trip every single load, pre-trip, post-trip, every load, every day. Checking your tires. That is one of our main talking points during the quarterly safety training for this quarter, which, by the way, is due August 3rd. So you have another week. What day is it? Yeah, you have another week to get that done. All right. So your tires, make sure that your brakes aren't out of adjustment, that they're in order. Slack adjusters are working properly. Just the overall, like I said, overall checklist, making sure that you're doing your due diligence on your pre-trip as well. And that's my biggest reminder from you. So, hey, Katie. Katie's here. Excellent. Okay, so let's talk about what we have available here at Decker. We are mostly over-the-road refrigerated. We do have some over-the-road flatbed, and we've got some more regional options as too, both in the refrigerated and in the flatbed divisions. I do have a couple of dedicated positions currently available. One dedicated, it's actually two positions for one dedicated run. It's a flatbed dedicated out of Nashville, Arkansas. It runs mostly Texas, Oklahoma, well, I guess a portion of Oklahoma, but mostly Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana. And you're running back and forth from Texarkana, Arkansas, over to Dallas, Texas, into Monroe and Shreveport. A couple areas along the way, sometimes down into Houston. But where we're hiring for this position would be Dallas, Monroe, Shreveport, and Texarkana. So those areas, and usually about a 25-mile radius or so of one of those areas, you would qualify for this position, at least location-wise for this position. That said, when it comes to qualifications, let's dive a little bit deeper into that because we do require a minimum of 1 year of flatbed experience for this position. Must be flatbed, must be at least 1 year. Also, if you don't have tarping and securement training, but you possibly drove flatbed, then you would not qualify. It does require that you have tarping and securement experience as well. So please keep that in mind. If you have questions whatsoever, please give us a call. The number that's flying across the screen here, this 877, where's it at? 877-433-2537. That is the telephone number to our recruiting department where they can answer some of those questions for you. All right, so flatbed experience is the number one qualification for this dedicated flatbed position. It is home weekly. I don't remember if I said that, but it's a home weekly position. And usually for a flatbed, you're coming home on like a Friday night or a Saturday morning, leaving back out either Sunday night or Monday morning, usually for an early Monday morning delivery. And I do need to say, if you are not getting out and getting that delivery first thing Monday morning, that usually will throw you off for the entire week. You need to have on-time delivery. It's pertinent. It's really important to stay on task for the rest of your schedule. And usually with this dedicated position, you're going to know what you're going to be doing on a regular basis, and you're going to need a rhythm for it. But yeah, that gives you some home time to expect on a weekly basis, and no more than one incident, I should say, in the last 12 months, and that means like a backing incident or a turning incident. If it's DOT recordable, we cannot work with it. No DOT recordable accidents, preventable DOT recordable accidents within the last 3 years at least. In a commercial vehicle, no more than none in the last 5. Same with careless, reckless, following too close. Any of those major moving violations have to be at least 3 years old. We can't work with any of those. When it comes to tickets, we can work with a ticket within the last 12 months, but we can't work with more than 2 in the last 3 years. So no more than 2 tickets in the last 3 years. And that's including minor tickets, like maybe a 5 over, what's considered minor. I really don't want to throw anything as minor when it's a ticket, but that could be as much as an hours of service violation and speeding or 2-way tickets. So no more than 2 tickets in the last 3 years. And like I said, if it's a major moving violation, it automatically disqualifies you for the 3-year period. So if you have questions, as always, get a hold of the recruiters, 877-433-2537 for details on that one. The trucks, the flatbed trucks are mostly 579 Peterbilts. We have some Volvos, some 760s, 780s, and some 860 Volvos, and then a few Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions. So for the most part, that's what you're looking at. The flatbeds, actually, let me backpedal here. For flatbeds, the Peterbilts are 740s, or yeah. I'm trying to think here. The Volvos, excuse me, are 740s, I believe, right? So the 589 Peterbilts, 740 for the flatbed. Yeah, because the reefers are going to be 860 or 760. There we go. I'll get it together. I'm just trying to picture it. So with the refrigerated units, they're usually the ultra loft, the higher roofs, higher tops. Flatbed is a flat top, so I'm pretty sure that's the 740. All right. Yeah. And then with the trailers, the flatbed trailers are 48-foot flatbed trailers. And again, if you have any questions, it's 877-433-2537. Any other qualifications that I probably should go over? Tickets, moving violations, we kind of went over those. Definitely going to require that experience. If you don't have flatbed experience and you're looking for this position, probably the best way in would be to run as a flatbed driver on the company side on the non-dedicated position where we can train you. So if you have 2 years of experience, but none of it's flatbed, then yes, we can train you. You just wouldn't qualify for this specific position right now. You can run in our flatbed division or over the road, which would get you home every other weekend. You're running mostly Denver East. And then you're still guaranteed in both of those positions. You're still guaranteed a minimum of $1,000 a week gross, but you wouldn't be on that dedicated run, at least initially. If it opens back up, once you get a year of experience in flatbed with us, then that could be a possibility. But initially, if you don't have the flatbed experience, you'd have to be in the over-the-road division for us. Okay. With the flatbed, the over-the-road, in most areas, you're home every other weekend. And I mentioned that most of the runs are going to be east of Denver. We do a lot of up and down the Midwest. So Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, a lot of Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Those are real heavy areas for us. Ohio, we do go into Kentucky and of course the Carolinas, down into Georgia and Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Those are all areas that we'll see, but up and down the Midwest is extremely heavy for us. So even if you live in, say, Alabama and you're looking to get home on a weekly basis, if you live within the hiring area for the weekly basis, then we can get you home weekly. Again, I mentioned probably coming home on like a Friday night or Saturday morning and back out either Sunday night or Monday morning. But keep in mind that you're still going to run a lot of the Midwest. It will not be a Southeast only position. We just don't have a Southeast only. A lot of our freight is in the Midwest. So I just want to make sure that was clear. We do call, it our Bessemer terminal or our Bessemer fleet, but that's because your dispatch is usually out of there for that division. If you're part of the over-the-road, Midwest over-the-road division, you would run mostly up and down the Midwest, maybe over into the PA area, like Pittsburgh maybe, Columbus for sure, but most of it's going to be around Iowa, Illinois, Indiana for the most part. And again, home weekly is an option. We've got some over-the-road options as well, depending on where you live. You know what? Let me just share with you. This will kind of give you an idea. Yeah, right on my head there. That gives you an idea of where we hire for our flatbed division. So you've got 3 colors here. Obviously, the white is just placement holder, I guess. The yellow represents the running areas. And then, of course, the red is going to represent our hiring area. So that red, the yellow, and obviously if you're in a red area, according to this map, you are within hiring and running lanes. And for the most part, this is a variety of our over the road and our home weekly options. So this doesn't specify one versus the other. But hey, Jason, how are you? But it does include some options for you. And again, this is the flatbed specifically. Jason says, where are you at? Let's see, I've got some flatbed out of there, you betcha. And that is going to be more my Midwest, where you would get home on a weekly basis. So you're out of Butler, Ohio. Yeah, so we can get you home on a weekly basis. And actually, where you live, we can not only get you home on a weekly basis, but we can guarantee you the $1,450 a week versus the $1,000 a week. The difference is really where all you're running for that division. So we have you're probably not going to see anything further south than Missouri in that $1,450 guaranteed. You're going to be a lot in Iowa. Most of the time you're going to be in Iowa and Illinois, Ohio, southern Michigan, southern Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So with your 6 years of flatbed experience, that's fantastic, by the way. With your 6 years of flatbed experience, you are looking at 65 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem, so you're not taxed on 10 cents a mile. But again, your guarantee per week is the $1,450. So let's talk about what that guarantee, or what gets you that guaranteed minimum, okay? You do need to be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no driver service failures, so no late loads either. And these are just the qualifications for the minimum pay. No CSA violations for the week, no preventable accidents for the week, and get your paperwork in on time. So pretty basic, yes, but they are there to make sure that you're getting that guaranteed minimum each and every week. And you get paid every Friday, direct deposit. The way that our work week runs, or our pay schedule runs, everything that is in paperwork-wise, by Tuesday night at 10 p.m. will be paid out by Friday. So you have until Tuesday to get your paperwork in, pays out on Friday. A lot of that is just because we have some early morning, Monday morning deliveries that, roll over into the week. So anyways, those are the 6 requirements. Jason says, what about inclement weather? Well, that is actually one of the reasons why we have the guaranteed minimum set in place. So if you do run into having inclement weather or something like that, or construction or something that's out of your hands, then you're still available for dispatch. And if you're asking me about late loads, Jason, it's driver service failure. So it's if you didn't manage your time well, or budget your time well, that could disqualify you. But if it's weather related, or if it's shipper or receiver related, then that doesn't fall back on you. It's when you could have gotten there and you didn't manage your time well to get there, or something that would fall back on you. So hopefully that answers your question. I'm pretty sure that's what you're referring to. Daniel, hey Daniel, how are you? Somerville, South Carolina. Give me a sec here. Let me just pull that zip code for Somerville and South Carolina. Let's see, what do I have there? Is it 29486? Is that right? 486. Okay. Let's investigate. So doesn't look like I've got a whole lot there, but I'm pulling it up on the map as well, just so I can take a look at that. In the Berkeley area. Let's investigate. Give me a sec here. I'm just trying to pull it up so that I can see where you're at compared to... That is actually not within the hiring area. So Somerville is outside of the hiring area. For the most part, when it comes to the flatbed division, we are looking at anything that's going to be east of 95 is going to be outside of the hiring area in South Carolina. So South Carolina and North Carolina for that matter. 20 years of experience though, dang, that would put you starting at 70 cents a mile, to update you on that. But yeah, with, how close can I get you? You're still a chunk away. Let's see, how are you from there? I'm just testing the miles here to see how close we can get you. Yeah, 20 years of experience. That's fantastic. Unfortunately, with Somerville, we don't like to go east of 95 at all. You know what I'd do is I would get a hold of one of the recruiters and speak to them directly and see if, depending on what your, I know, depending on what your driving record is. You said you've got 20 years of experience, which is phenomenal. But if you have a clean driving record, if you don't mind being out 2 weeks at a time, coming home every other weekend, they might be able to make it work. That would be for sure a case-by-case basis. I would most definitely not be able to say, oh yeah, you're good, because you are outside of the hiring area. It would be something that we'd have to talk to ops about. So the way that we, now that I say that, the way that our recruiting and our hiring department, or our hiring department and our operations department work together, is to make sure that we are not overloading specific areas with the amount of drivers we have compared to the freight that we have to have. So it has to be a really good balance in order to get the home time that you promised and that the other people are promised, and of course getting the miles for you as well. So you're welcome, Daniel. I wish I had a better answer for you, but that is what it is at this moment. Yeah. Anyway, so that is flatbed for the most part. That's our flatbed. Refrigerated is a little bit different. Refrigerated, we can do, let me see if I can pull this on over here. We have a few different lanes for you. Here, you're going to see the running area again in yellow. So all of that area, where's my picture? Nope, there. All the running area is in yellow. And then the red is the hiring area where you can see we've got parts of the Washington area, Portland as well. So we've got a little bit over there that we do hire from for the over-the-road refrigerated, which means you're out about 2 to 3 weeks at a time and then home for 3 to 4 days. It just depends on how long you're staying out. We figure a day and a half for every 7 days you're out. This refrigerated also has a minimum pay that you'll be able to earn. That's $1,000 each week. And again, it still pays on Friday. You have until Tuesday night to get your paperwork in and get paid on Friday. But you'll get the better of the two, same as in flatbed. Whatever your miles and your rate of pay per mile, which is based off of your experience level, whatever that is versus the $1,000 minimum. So whichever is the greatest, you'll get. And you do have to qualify for that minimum pay. Same qualifications, no CSA violations, no preventable accidents for the week. Get your paperwork in on time, which again, Tuesday night. No load refusals, no driver service failures, so on-time delivery, and be available for dispatch 5 days out of the week, at least 5 days out of the week. Yeah. So again, answering Jason's question about inclement weather, the same goes. That's one of the ways that this minimum pay has protected a lot of our drivers, is if it's weather related and they can't get somewhere, or if it throws a wrench in things, they still have that minimum amount that they'll be able to earn. Funny, actually, not funny, but when we implemented this minimum pay, the first year we implemented this, I believe it was in December, like the tail end of December. Weather was crummy. And then shortly after, either January or February that year, I think it was in 20. Was it 20? I'm trying to remember what year that was. But when it was at the end of December for sure, I remember that time. And we had to, unfortunately, shut down like 500 of our trucks. We have about 600 some trucks. But we had to shut down about 550 of our trucks because of weather. And I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys were on the road at the time, the wind was horrid in the Midwest. I remember how bad that was. And I'm in the Great Falls area, and so of Montana. And so to me, it's like, we're the windiest city out there. I know Chicago's title and, whatever, but yeah, we are ridiculously windy. So they're shutting things down, and I'm thinking, well, man, this is just a normal day. But we do have things to block us up here, Whereas in the Midwest, I mean, it was coming through. It was horrible, you guys. It was absolutely horrible for those of you who don't remember or may not have been out on the road at that time. But we ended up having to shut down about 550 trucks, which sucks. It flat out sucks. And I want to say that it was around a 24-hour period. Thankfully, we had already implemented that minimum pay, that guaranteed pay. So all of our drivers knew that they would make at least that $1,000 a week. And the other plus, now I know this was frustrating for some people, and it's not something that we do all the time, but this was a safety issue. We were not about to put all of our drivers that were in that specific area, we weren't about to put all of them at risk when there were warnings and watches and a gazillion things coming at us about this wind. And it definitely hit some people hard. Thankfully, our drivers were all right. And we had them sit. And I think it was around 24-hour period, which doesn't make everybody happy. Rightfully so. When you're paid mileage pay, you want to keep moving. But you want to be able to come home, right? And that's a priority, obviously. So the minimum pay, having that in effect when all of that happened was like a blessing. So anyways, that was that. Not something that we do all the time, but it was an example of where that came in handy and that covered our drivers, as well as, making sure that we were doing our due diligence to keep everybody safe and to assure them that they'd still be able to make the money that they were hoping to make. So, hey, George, how are you? Good to have you here. So yeah, that's what the minimum pay is all about. Be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no driver service failures, so no late loads that you may have caused. No CSA points for the week, no preventable accidents for the week, and get your paperwork in on time, which is now Tuesday at 10 p.m. So get that all in. All right, so back to the hiring area. Yes, Washington, Oregon, we've got a few areas there, mostly around into Hermiston and a little bit of Oregon, definitely Portland, and on up to Seattle. And then we also head over towards the Spokane area. Tri-Cities of Washington is also a very busy area. Pasco, Kennewick, those are big area for us. Spokane, I mentioned that. Then Montana. I was trying to go for Missoula anyways. So Montana, if you live in Montana, this is the only state that we require this, but if you live in Montana, we do have you leave the tractor and trailer in Missoula on your home time. Reason we do that is a number of reasons. We have a lot of freight that goes through, but we don't necessarily have a lot of freight in the state of Montana. And with the shop and the terminal there, we can take care of a lot of the maintenance while you're on home time instead of, cutting into your hours and eating up your time that you could be running the miles that you're wanting to run. So there's a couple of different scenarios on that one, or a couple of different reasons to support that one. But yeah, leave the tractor and trailer in Missoula on your home time if you're in Missoula, or if you're in Montana. We will hire as far as like over towards Billings, more so towards the Bozeman area, and down south towards probably not much further south than Dillon in Montana. We'll go into Great Falls, into Helena, towards the Flathead area, not much further north of there. But we can get you home every 2 to 3 weeks if you live in Montana. Okay, home for 3 days. And then Salt Lake City area. We do hire out of the Salt Lake City area, a little bit further south of there and up north towards the Idaho border. Again, that's a 2 to 3 week out period. Same for Wyoming, and so Cheyenne, Wyoming area, and then down towards Colorado, Aurora, and also a little bit of in the Pueblo area in southern Colorado that we do have. We are not hiring as far west in Colorado as Colorado Springs, so that is not an area, or Junction. We're not hiring over that direction or as south as Colorado Springs. So you can kind of see where these lines are drawn. Yes, we're hiring out of Kansas and areas of Oklahoma and areas of Texas, especially around the Amarillo area. We do have over-the-road refrigerated there. We can actually get you home every 7 to 10 days out of those Texas areas. And then if you live in Iowa and Illinois and Indiana, north of 80 in Indiana and Illinois, then we can get you home on a weekly basis. And again, the guarantee is $1,000 a week. Same if you live in the Detroit area or Minneapolis, Minnesota, South, Milwaukee. We do get you home on a weekly basis. 7 to 10 days actually is probably the most accurate way to describe that. Dallas, Texas is great for us. Houston area is very good. Parts of Louisiana around New Orleans, areas of Mississippi, and then the northern part of both Georgia and Alabama. We can also get you home about every 7 to 10 days. If you want to stay out longer, you can. The most home time we can offer, the most frequent, would be around the 7 to 10 day period. And we have opened up some of the North Carolina and South Carolina areas as long as you are west of 95. Anything west of 95, we do hire within Colorado or the Carolinas. So, and then Nashville, Memphis, out of Tennessee. Those are good areas for us as well. So yes, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. 877-433-2537. And again, you can get a hold of one of the recruiters there to answer those questions. Now, I did, on one of these other platforms here, it says the referral program. Yeah, I can do that. So, yes, we have the referral program is basically pays our drivers, whoever you refer, if they hire on, it pays you $1,500 within 90 days of them hiring. And we actually just at the beginning of the month, we did a referral bonus drawing for a chance to win either a laptop, tablet, or $1,000. And $1,000 was chosen. That's actually what everybody has chosen so far. So no surprise. We all appreciate the extra money, right? So yes, it's $1,500 per driver for the first 3 drivers that you refer. So then after 3, if you've referred within a calendar year, if you've referred 4 or 5 drivers within the calendar year, it'll bump up to the $2,000 per driver, and then bump up one more time for your 6th, 7th, 8th, and so on, up to $2,500 per driver. But no matter what level you're on for the pay, for the incentive pay, it will pay within 90 days of their hire. So first dispatch, you get, with the 1,500, you'll get $250 on first dispatch, $250 after they've been here for 30 days, and then $500 at 60 and $500 at 90 days is how that pays out. And then there's other incentives too. So there's the free t-shirt. You'll get a tumbler. So there's a tumbler that you can get. You'll get business cards. The business cards make it easy when you're at a truck stop and someone's like, hey, I want to know a little bit about the company. Can you visit? Maybe you have time, maybe you don't. If you don't, you can give them your card, say, give me a holler, let me know. And that number also on the card will also get them over to the recruiting department so they can answer all the questions. How much experience do you have? What are your, give them the details on the qualifications, whether or not they'll qualify. So we don't expect you to have to do all of that. We just expect, our recruiters to be able to answer those questions. And as long as you have access to the recruiters and getting them the information, we'll do the rest. What else do we have incentives-wise? For 5 or more referrals, you get a watch. So that's a new thing, a Decker watch. If you've had over 5 referrals within the calendar year, and as long as you are the top referrer for the calendar year, you will get an additional $2,500. So yeah, it all adds up. $100 Pilot gift card, a tumbler, a t-shirt, business cards, a chance at a drawing. The quarterly drawings are $1,000. So yeah, anyways, all kinds of opportunities. I can post some more information in there for you guys if you'd like to see that. So it'll be easy to do. Daniel. Hey, Daniel, how are you? Daniel Sailors. Let's see. You are at 1480. Where is that? Illinois. Henderson. Okay. We have both. Actually, he's asking if we have a refrigerated or a flatbed. We have both. The refrigerated can get you home every 7 to 10 days. And the flatbed can get you home on a weekly basis, like coming home either Friday night or Saturday morning and back out either Sunday night or Monday morning. Yes. The refrigerated guarantees a minimum of $1,000 a week. And depending on your experience, you would start, as long as you have at least 6 months of experience, you'd start anywhere from 56 cents a mile to 65 cents a mile in the refrigerated division. If you're looking for flatbed, depending on your experience level, it would be anywhere from 50, I think I said that. Reefer is 55 to 65 cents a mile. Flatbed is 56 to 70 cents a mile. There we go. I think I said that wrong a moment ago. I'll have to rewind and double check. But yeah, so refrigerated would put you, based off of your experience, anywhere from 55 to 65 cents a mile. Flatbed would put you anywhere from 56 to 70 cents a mile. And then the guarantee for flatbed would be $14.50 a week for your area, and refrigerated would be $1,000 a week. Is that 9.5 the number of years of experience? Is that what that means? So that would put you at 67 cents a mile in flatbed. And refrigerated, that would put you at about 63 cents a mile. I think that's what that says, it's 9.5. So, yeah. Get you covered. So speaking of other covering you here, we've got our benefits, which start after 60 days. It's Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's an 80-20 plan, and it's medical, dental, vision, prescription. Prescription is a $0 generic, which is pretty cool. That's new this year, where you can have the $0 generic at pretty much anywhere except for Walgreens and CVS, I believe, are the two exceptions, but pretty much everywhere else. Some of the brand names and some of the specialty drugs do fall under that $0 generics, but as long as it's a generic, it falls in there. So you're good. 9.5. Okay, just making sure. Wasn't like 9 in this and 5 in this. Either way, you're good. So the benefits start after 60 days. We also have a 401k, and that's a 50% match. So that'll get you as well. We use Principal Financial. We have quite a few other additional benefits, perks like long-term, short-term life insurance, critical disability, things like that, and some supporting benefits that go along with it are available to you, AFLAC, things like that. What am I missing? Think. Yeah, so quite a bit. We do have other incentives in addition to the benefits as well and the pay. We talked a little bit about, what you can expect on a weekly basis for the pay. But if you're an experienced driver and you're coming aboard to Decker, we do currently have a $2,000 sign-on bonus for experienced drivers only. And for, Jason, vacation. Yes, good call. So vacation pay starts, you'll get at 6 months, you'll get 1 year. Let me rephrase this. After 6 months, you get 1 week. There we go. That's more realistic. So 1 week after 6 months, you'll get another week after you've been here for a year. And then at 3 years, you'll get an additional 2 weeks. Or you bump up to 2 weeks instead of weekly, 1 week per year. And then you'll bump up to 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks after you've been here for 7 years. So it goes year one, or at 6 months, you get one week. You get another week at annually until year number 3, and then you'll get 2 weeks annually until year number 7, and then you'll get 3 weeks annually. Where else was I going with some of those benefits? Oh, the sign-on bonus. And that pays in increments. Let me think. I believe it is 60, 90, and 180. So first dispatch, and then at 60 days, 90 days, and 180 days, you'll get $500 installments on all of that. Can you accrue? Jason, you cannot accrue more than those, I believe those 3 weeks. I think that's the max. I think 20 days is the max. I'm going to have to double check that, because I can't remember. Let me see if I can pull that up. I think it's 20 days. Let's see. Do I have any of that? I don't even know if I have that handy, but I'll find that out for you. We do have additional incentives, like with the $50, you get a $50 for a clean inspection, you get a $50 bonus for that. And I'm just looking to see if it says here. Looks like that'll probably be something that I reach out to our admin or HR department on for accrued vacation, because I don't see that. Yeah, I don't have that handy for me. Okay, so what else can I? So $50 for the clean inspections. Plus we have Take Pride in Your Ride. This is one of our policies that we put into place right around, shortly after we did the dog policy. Well, I'll talk about the dog policy too. But really what that did is that opened up for taking pride in your ride. Our trucks are really nice trucks. They're well maintained, but they're newer model. They're spectacular. And they have, you imagine it, we probably have it. APUs, refrigerators, microwaves, CB units, TVs, Epic View satellite TV programming. It's all company paid. Free Wi-Fi. Yeah, there's a lot. So taking pride in your ride is a policy that our drivers came up with, actually, or at least some of our drivers came up with. And if there's different levels of taking pride in your ride, where the cleanliness of the interior of your truck. And depending on where you're at, when you come in for maintenance, like an A or B service, If the cleanliness is, a high level, you're going to get in for a drawing for a chance at $500. And plus, you get a gift card for the time being as well. So you get, I think it's a $25 gift card as well for that. So there's perks to that. Plus, you feel good in a clean rig. And then we also have let's see, what am I missing there? We just, every once in a while we have something going on. We have the take pride in your ride, the referral bonus. Oh, the quarterly safety drawings. We do the quarterly safety drawings. Obviously quarterly. We will have one sometime this week too. Maybe even today or tomorrow. Katie will be doing the drawing for the quarterly safety. And what happens is, for those of you who have completed the quarterly safety training within the first 24 hours, your name goes into a drawing for a chance to win, 10 chances to win the Pilot Flying J gift card. So there's that as well. And I'm sure I'm missing bonuses and payouts along the way. Oh my gosh, I totally am. Next week, we'll actually be talking about it. The monthly bonus, we have both a scorecard, which is more of a performance bonus, as well as a safety bonus. So those will be paid out usually the third pay period of the month following when you ran it. The scorecard bonus has a few different factors: on-time delivery, miles, fuel efficiency, compliance, CSA points or lack thereof, preventable accidents, make sure you don't have any preventable accidents. And so it's the 7 criteria, claims, that's the 7 criteria for the scorecard. And you want 1,000 points. That's a perfect score. That will get you an extra 4 cents a mile on all the miles that you completed for the month. And if you don't have a perfect score, you can get anywhere from 1 to 4 cents per mile on the payout there if you qualify for any of that. And then we also have the safety bonus, which if your score is 20 or below, so that's on the low end versus the high end, then you'll get an extra penny per mile on all the miles that you completed for the month as well. So a total of 5 cents between those two on all the miles that you completed for the month. So that can definitely add up. But if you have questions on that, please reach out to one of the recruiters at 877-433-2537. We'll go through some of that next week to do some of the bragging, call out the names of those who've received the perfect scores, and all of that. We'll do that too. So there's that part. I missed tons of our incentives. So there's that monthly bonus. But what we do is every month we take our top scorecard, our top safety scores, and it doesn't mean that doesn't mean you have to have a perfect score, but that's usually the case in order to qualify for the top. But we take those, and the top earners are then voted on for a chance to win Driver of the Month. The Driver of the Month program qualifies you for Driver of the Year. Plus, you can only win Driver of the Month one time within the 12-month calendar year for the division. So if you won it, you'll get a $100 gift card, Walmart gift card, and a $50 gift card to the Decker store as well. If you're a nominee, then you would get a $50 Walmart gift card and a gift from the Decker store that's sent to you as well. But in addition to those perks, you are then set up for an opportunity at Driver of the Year. So all of our Driver of the Months pool in for Driver of the Year, and those are then voted and tallied on to determine who qualifies or who won the Driver of the Year award for each division. And the Driver of the Year gets a $3,000 prize. But from there, that's not it, because from there, we will take all of the Driver of the Years for our different divisions, and we will choose a grand champion. Last year was Tom Melton, is one of our not one of our grand champions. Tom was our grand champion, and he won $15,000 in cash. So $15,000. So Yeah, that's how it works. Only one grand champion, but you've got some good stepping stones on the way up there. Um, Tom Melton last year, Todd Overson the year before. We had Anthony Vasquez and Dean Sosek and Art Club and who am I missing, you guys? Who else? Steve Alliger. Let's see, how many years have we been doing this? Since Art was our first winner in 2016. And so, yeah, quite a few. Steve Alliger, Todd Overson, Dean. Yeah, you guys are doing a fantastic job. So keep it up. If you have questions, please, as always, get a hold of one of our recruiters. It's 877-433-2537. You can also reach out to me on Messenger. I'll be there answering questions as well. But I appreciate you guys taking a moment to spend with me so that I could keep you up to date on what's going on here at Decker. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and we will see you here in the next couple of days on our Facebook Live, giving the winners for our quarterly bonus. And then I'll be on TikTok throughout the week as well, answering questions there if you want to hop on. All right, you guys, be good, be safe. We'll visit soon.